My name's Anthony Slider. I work for Fins from the Wall Street Journal. It's our career site for the Wall Street Journal digital network. I'm a sales guy. I love it. I live it. I breathe it. And I use ClearSlide all the time for presentations that I'm doing each day with prospective new clients and our existing clients as well. ClearSlide's fundamental in all of the deals that I've closed. I like to have a conversational introduction to what is Fins, how do we access the Wall Street Journal digital network, and as soon as it gets into specifics, I say, can you pull up a browser for me? Let's go to ClearSlide. I want to give you some visuals to go along with our conversation. And it does a better job of drawing out questions from who you're talking with, and again, keeping it interactive and conversational as opposed to talking at your prospect and hoping to find something that sparks their interest. ClearSlide allows me to very easily and visually convey a solution to problems that have either been uncovered before we were on the phone or even on the fly. So if I hear, we have a problem with X, then I've got a slide that speaks to that, or I can go to an area of our site that specifically speaks to that. If they say I have a problem with Y, then I can steer the conversation in a different direction very quickly. So the thing I like most about using ClearSlide is the way the call begins. With other presentation softwares, you'll often see more of a tech support sort of feel to get everybody into the meeting. With ClearSlide, it's one click, they're there, the meeting's ready to start, and we can keep it more conversational. Literally, that moment where I didn't have to download anything, I was already right there, was aha for me, because I'd had painful experiences starting meetings with other presentation software in the past. So here's an example of how the relationship is bettered and furthered. Oftentimes you'll talk with a point person, a stakeholder in an organization, and you'll need a larger group meeting as the next step from that call. When they're confident that you can run a smooth meeting, that they're going to send out a group invite and ask for time from 5 or 10 people, and you've proven to them that you've got a smooth solution to share your presentation with that group, I think it deepens the confidence in your original point of contact to broaden the relationship and bring in other people from their organization. I like the way the meeting starts very quickly, and I like to be able to see if my prospects have viewed my presentation later. It shows me that there's interest when they're in the budgeting stage or when they're actually considering making a decision, so I can see if I've had an impact maybe days or even weeks or months earlier. Well, they are numerous. Oftentimes you'll present your product or a campaign solution to an agency partner or somebody that in turn has to represent that material to their boss or their client. So for me that is a large challenge, but when I can tell that presentation is being viewed again, it lets me know, hey, it's time to go back to that prospect, that agency, that client, and re-engage the conversation, see where and why there was interest renewed, and is it time to serve that? So oftentimes, especially when you're pursuing an executive, VP, C-level, somebody that's higher up in the organization and ultimately can make the decision, you get very few minutes with that person to make an impact. So if you've gotten past your few value proposition statements to spark their interest, you may have an opportunity to do a web demo then and there on the fly. And the ability to be one click away from that is a big, big deal in our world. Well, I would say the metrics tracking ability is an important feature of the product, because you can see how long you've been on presentations, how many there have been, what the engagement has been, and by user, who's been presenting the most. So the ability to track those metrics from an activity perspective and take stock of who on the team has been utilizing the presentation tool and ultimately presenting is a must-know for management. So when I talk to a new user, I literally tell them, dude, this is going to be a 5-minute process for you. If you've used presentation software before, this one will be easier and faster. In fact, you get that response from your prospects and your clients the first time they've seen it. They ooh and ah as well. I can't count how many ClearSlide clients I've referred literally because people are kind of immediately blown away. It puts me in a cutting edge sort of light. It reestablishes me as a thought leader and somebody that can provide value on the call, and oftentimes that happens right at the start of the call, which is right when I need it to. I've actually thought about if ClearSlide was taken away a few different times. I would strongly consider using my own money for my own subscription. I can't and won't go back to that painful start of the call experience. It's just it's a deal breaker for me. So if you think that you've got one of the other products out there and you guys are okay and everything's running fine on your team, I would encourage you to give it a try over 3 or 6 months and ask about the difference. Listen to the calls. Understand what the response is from the client side or the other side of the phone, and you'll be a believer too. So when I ran presentations previous to ClearSlide, I would very often start off the call confirming that people were in the meeting, confirming that people could see my screen before ever getting into the value proposition or why we had arranged time to talk. So I was playing a tech support person. Oh, bear with me. Oh, click on this piece here. Oh, right click. Oh, you have a firewall. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Maybe I should email you the presentation. It could be 5 or 10 minutes in, a frustrating 5 or 10 minutes that was tough to get in the first place. So that's what my world looked like before I was one click away and immediately into a much more natural conversation.